This is a major brand that we all know. This is a major brand that we all know. And then this is your brand. You've got a paragraph here for these people and another paragraph for this one. And then you got yours with your 5 ingredients. So I think that that's a really neat thing that you have, because like you just said, they're putting antifreeze in our ice cream and nobody talks about that, right?
I just wished I would have listened and thought a little bit bigger, because I was scared. I didn't want to sink hundreds of thousands of dollars into a business on just something that I didn't know would take off, and it's taken off like wildfire. We also have gluten-free cookies and cream. We've had people that come to the farmers market and at events who are almost in tears because they can get cookies and cream where they wouldn't necessarily have gotten that product.
What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here, Haven Real Estate Group at eXp Realty, here with another episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills. And guys, I just want to say I'm really excited about this one today. They are been in business for a couple years here, and I've got Flint Hills Pints, Karen and Darren Maggie down here in Alma, Kansas. And I'm just really excited because we've been talking a lot off camera. But you guys, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us. We're excited to do this.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited to learn your story because in my mind, you guys kind of stormed onto the scene, right? Like it was kind of coming up and being given the K-State deal and all that stuff. So it's been really exciting. One, to sit here and talk to you guys and hear your story. So I'm excited to let the viewers see everything here. So without further ado, I guess let's kind of go. Karen, tell me a little bit about how this all got started and what inspired you to start the Flint Hills Pints.
Well, like everything, we started during COVID.
Yeah.
And shrinkflation was a big thing. And we were at the grocery store. My husband was perusing the ice cream. And I said, "You're not even getting a full half gallon. I can make this better." I said, "We'll go home and we'll make our own ice cream." Where would we be without Google? Pull up Google, search the recipes, and ended up mixing several of them together till we got what we liked. Then he started sharing it. And the flavor that started it all was cranberry, tequila, white chocolate chip. Yes, tequila. Jose works in my kitchen. We cooked cranberries in the tequila, so the alcohol technically cooks off, and we add some orange juice and lime juice to it, mix in some white chocolate chips. It's a great holiday flavor, and the folks seem to love it. And he shared it with a professor up at K-State, and he goes, "This is really, really good. You need to get in business. Here's a list of people you need to talk to." Oh, maybe it is good. So then Kyle was the GM at Manhattan Hy-Vee, and Kyle said he would try it. Okay, cool. Get Kyle to try this. And he goes, "You need to be selling this. We want to carry this product. Get your processing license, get everything you need." Well, I procrastinated, and Kyle left. But that's okay. We've got our little single-serve cups at the gas station. Dennis carries them over at Hy-Vee at the gas station. So you can get your sweet fix there. But we are in the Topeka Hy-Vee, and that is how we got started.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you did it all here. I mean, so you guys live around the area. I'm assuming, is that kind of why you decided to keep it here local to Alma?
We wanted to have it on the farm initially so that people understood where their food come from. It didn't just come from a truck. I wanted the kids to understand where the eggs came from, where the farm was, what takes place on a farm. But by the time KDA got done with all the regulations, I said, "Well, you've now convinced me not to be in business in Kansas. How about you tell me how I can be in business?" So we ended up renting a detached garage, and we started our business there legally in April of 2023.
That's cool. That's so cool. So working on 3 years then. That's coming up quick.
Yes.
I love that. So talk to me a little bit about your product. Obviously, we have your single serves, and we have all of this stuff here. One of the things that I think you are proud of, and you should be, is I'm going to call it the list of ingredients, right? So talk to me about what your guys' product is, how it's sourced, and what that looks like.
Of course. We have 5 ingredients in our base. We make all of our ice cream base ourselves, and to make a pint of ice cream takes 3 days. We cook our base, so we have half and half and heavy whipping cream, which is sourced from Highland Dairy, which in turn sources it from 90% of the Kansas dairies, and then the product is pasteurized down in Wichita. So we're keeping those dollars in Kansas, as well as eggs come from our farm and other small farms in the community. And we use just the yolks because that is our stabilizer. We do not have artificial stabilizers in our product. You will not find Terra bean, locust bean, xanthan gum. You won't find any of that. And you won't find edible antifreeze. Yeah, check it out. It's a real thing. Edible antifreeze in your ice cream. Our product has vanilla, sugar, and that makes the 5 ingredients. In addition, we also have fruit that we put in some of the flavors, and those flavors would be strawberry, home run, which is blackberry, strawberry, raspberry, blueberry, and we call that one home run. And it's a gorgeous purple with no dyes and no food coloring. And this is our new product, freeze-dried ice cream, and this one is purple and white, and I'm gonna call that one Willie's Feed. But again, our colors come from the fruit and the egg yolks. The more vivid that your egg yolk is, the more vivid that the colors are. But unfortunately, I can't use up all the eggs in our community because during our premium season, our prime season, we go through 800 to 1,000 eggs a week.
Holy moly.
Yeah. How would you like to be the hen laying those eggs?
Holy moly. Okay. A week.
A week.
Wow. Okay.
And in addition, we have egg whites. And during fair season, we have a lot of kids that come to us for the egg whites, for their critters, for up at the fairs, because it slicks the coats up for their show cattle or their show pigs. Our dogs have real nice slick coats because they are the purveyors of some of these egg whites, but I can only feed them so many egg whites. So if you have a use for my egg whites, please reach out to me. In addition, when spring gets here, we have a lot of folks that reach out to us for the eggshells to put in their gardens. It's a good source of calcium for your soil. So please reach out to us if you want some eggshells. We got plenty of them.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think I wish I had that paper, because I think the cool thing here that what we'll show you and I guess it's on this one, the ingredients on this one, and Darren's going to grab me the paper here, but the cool part about this is like, this is a major brand that we all know. This is a major brand that we all know. And then this is your brand. And I think, and I'll put this out there and we can put it on to where it gets a little closer, but I think you've got a paragraph here for these people and another paragraph for this one. And then you got yours with your 5 ingredients, with whatever flavoring you put in, whether it be strawberries. When I showed up, she's cooking strawberries over here on the oven here. So I think that that's a really neat thing that you have, that you're able to hang your hat on, is because, like you just said, they're putting antifreeze in our ice cream, and nobody talks about that, right?
And here we list natural and artificial flavor. That is vanilla, but Value Food Labs, where we ran our products through, said that is how we have to classify it, because we are not using the vanilla bean. You don't want me to use the vanilla bean because it would be really expensive.
Well, and I think that's so much we have. Like we talked to, before we started recording, that you have so much of the ice cream that you buy in the store is called
frozen dairy dessert.
Say it again.
Frozen dairy dessert.
Because they can't call it ice cream, because
it does not contain enough cream. You're required to have a certain percentage in order to be called ice cream. And our fat level sets at 24%. And I know I'm diabetic, and I'm able to eat my ice cream and it will rise, but due to the fat level in the ice cream, it breaks it down evenly, so I don't get that spike.
Sure.
It breaks it down evenly. I also have folks that are lactose intolerant that come to the farmer's market, because we're always at the farmer's market in Manhattan, and they got one of these little cups to take home to their son, and now they're loyal customers. They come back because he's able to eat it as long as he eats it in moderation. Sure. And don't sit there and eat a whole pint. And I have another customer here locally that is able to eat it. And again, I think it's because of the high fat content.
Right.
But I can't make medical claims that say, my product is this.
Right.
So.
Well, and it's natural though, right? I think that's the breaks down, like you, Darren, I think you said it earlier, that it breaks down naturally versus all this high processed stuff that they put into.
Your body can break it down and absorb it.
Yeah.
It don't set in your body.
Yeah. And I think that's such a neat opportunity for what you guys have. And I go back to this ingredients list here of it being five products is unreal, right? Like I love that for that. So I guess I was going to ask what flavors you have, but it sounds like if you can dream it, you can put it in ice cream here. So
we do custom flavors.
I think that's important. Say that too.
We do custom flavors. I've got a couple out in Delphus because we routinely go to the small towns in western Kansas because they don't have the food trucks. They don't have the people that come and want to be there because it's a smaller community. We go once a month, beginning in April through about October. The first Friday will always be in Delphus for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Those people order in advance and they know what they want. And I have a lady that wanted black licorice for her husband because that's what he used to eat.
Oh, wow.
And I don't like licorice. And that flavor was really, really hard to make because I refused to eat it. I couldn't taste it to know how it tasted. And then I'm looking at these hunks of licorice and I'm thinking, how am I going to get this into the ice cream and have it taste right? So once again, Google helps me out.
Yeah.
It says make a syrup. So we made a syrup and Felicia was working. She goes, please don't make that again. It stinks so bad. But the lady and her husband loved it. And then some other people found out that they got it. And so now when I make for him, I have to make a couple extra so that they have it.
Yeah.
And we've done jalapeno ice cream.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I paired it with molasses.
Okay.
Because it was an earthy tone.
Yeah.
And the guy was a little disappointed, I'm sorry to say. I took the seeds out and he wanted the seeds left in.
Okay, that's interesting.
But we do custom flavors.
Okay.
We also have a couple that buys our caramel ice cream and they use it for sweetener in their coffee.
She uses it for a coffee creamer because she goes, I don't have to have it in the refrigerator. I can put it in the freezer and I no longer have to have the caramel because it's already in the ice cream. I just take a scoop and put it in there. So she'll come buy 3 pints for her freezer for her ice cream.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I guess if anybody, wants to get a hold of you guys and buy a pint or the single serves, how would they go about doing that?
We have a web page and it's flinthillspints.com, or you can just Google Flint Hills Pints and we come up. And we also have gluten-free cookies and cream. And we've had people that come to the farmer's market and at events who are almost in tears because they can get cookies and cream where they wouldn't necessarily have gotten that product. And it's all because of his cousin who has celiacs, and he was honest to please do cookies and cream. And I finally just gave in to him, but we do sell quite a bit of the gluten-free cookies and cream. Okay. And we wholesale it, and so we have other stores that also carry our products. So on our website, there's a little tab that says, where are we, or where to find us, and then you can check retail, and it'll pull up all the cities that we're in, and then in turn it also lists the businesses and where they're located. And I think maybe it might have a link to their webpage as well. We tend to go with the smaller stores because we tend to do better in the smaller stores. I kind of get lost in Hy-Vee because you have much more options, and the people shopping there are more concerned a lot of times with price over quality.
Yeah.
And I'm of the belief I'll pay if it's good.
Yeah.
If it's not good, I don't want to be paying.
Yeah.
And Darren was behind me yelling, yes, tell them about this storefront. So yes, we are finally getting our storefront in Alma. We should have that up and going hopefully by April 1, and we're excited to have this, as is our help. They're tremendously excited.
I'll bet.
So we will be at 321, 2 doors down from the Mexican restaurant. They have great Mexican food, so come get your dessert over at our place. Or start with us.
Might start with dessert, right?
Hey, I start with dessert at family reunion. Why not?
Hey, that's right. Well, I love that. And I love that you're doing unique things too, right? Like I love that you've got the freeze-dried ice cream. Like one, I've never heard of doing ice cream. It makes sense.
It's my space ice cream. That's what we'll call it. I'm marketing it as space ice cream because this is what the astronauts would take to space.
Yeah.
And when I was at the farm show in Topeka this year, we were doing samples so that we could get feedback on the product to see if it was worth doing. And this little boy come up to me and he goes, I don't know if I could try this. I said, why not? He goes, because it's against the law to have ice cream in space, he tells me. I said, I think you can go ahead and try it, please. So he tried it. He goes, but you still can't have it there. I said, why? He goes, it makes crumbs. But he did come around and say he would eat it.
That's awesome. And I'll tell you, so my kids love the freeze-dried candies and all that kind of stuff too. And so I've tried, what was it? Peanut butter brickle. Delicious. I think the neat thing that I like about it, I don't know if this is the same, but this one is, it doesn't feel like so much air. Yes.
It's like eating a macaroon.
Yes. And it's delicious. There's something to it that it's just a little bit.
I think it's the denseness from the cream.
Okay.
Because when you freeze dry, you're removing all the moisture out of that product.
Yep.
They said you could rehydrate it, but we tried that and it didn't look very appetizing.
Well, and I think that's right too. Because that's how dense it is that it's really delicious. So definitely try that one. This is a good product. I like that I was able to try. I've tried this too, and it's obviously very good too. So. Okay, so I kind of want, if you guys want to, I'd like to talk a little bit more about the storefront, what that's going to be, and kind of what the future brings for you guys. But before we do that, I kind of want to talk a little bit. You said 3 days to make 1 pint of ice cream. So I kind of want to talk about the process and what that looks like, right? Obviously, you've got to go source it. You've got to get the eggs. You've got to get the cream. You've got to get all that stuff done. But then from that moment, from essentially eggs to the batch to making a blackberry pint of ice cream, what does that process look like?
Well, the process, we used to measure our sugar with cups. We now weigh the sugar.
Yeah.
And we have the half and half that you put in.
Sure.
And we cook it on the stove and we bring it up to a specific temperature. And while that's coming up to temperature, somebody's cracking eggs, and I mean a lot of eggs, and they're separating it. So we've kind of gotten to a point where we've got a big bowl, and I've figured out if we put this pan with holes over the top of it, you can put about 15 egg yolks on there, and as long as you go back and pluck them egg yolks off before they drain through, it's a much quicker process.
Sure.
So it's been a learning curve as we go. So once we get up the temperature, we slowly stir in the egg yolks.
Okay.
You know what happens if you dump them all in?
What's that?
You get scrambled eggs in your ice cream.
Ah! Oh my gosh.
You don't want scrambled eggs in your ice cream.
Not at all.
So then we bring it up to a higher temperature again once all the egg yolks are in. Then we pull it off the heat. We add the heavy whipping cream in, and then we have 3 hours to drop the temperature to 48 degrees.
Okay.
Or actually lower than 48, 41.
Okay.
45 is what the state regulations are. 41 is what the federal regulations are from when you have a cooked product and you have to get it down to temperature.
Within 3 hours.
So we have egg cartons that hold 30 eggs, and we set the pots on them. That way the air's moving underneath it. We're taking the immediate cold, heavy whipping cream, dumping it in to cool it down, and we're stirring it. And once we get it down to 70 degrees, then we put it into these containers, leave the lids off so that it can get
Breathe.
to a lower temperature yet. And so, and then we label them every day. And then this is what the finished product looks like. And we strain it. And the reason we strain it before it goes in here is we don't want any egg whites in the product, because
Custard.
you'll still get egg whites in there, but we want them strained out because it's chunkies.
Okay.
And nobody wants little chunkies in their ice cream
No.
unless they're supposed to be there. So then once it's cooled down, it goes into a cooling chamber. It sets another 24 hours. Once it's set 24 hours, then we put it into our batch freezer. And so this will hold two of these,
6 quarts.
and then we add our flavoring also, and we just dump it in. We used to have to use a food processor to grind up the cookies and that. You just throw whole cookies in there, it munches it up, and it does everything. I love this machine. It's great.
And you get 6 quarts out of this, or can
We put
quarts of
6
this.
quarts in,
Okay.
and roughly you get just about double that out.
Okay.
So you get about 12 pints out, because when you're doing this, air's going into your product.
Sure.
And so we don't put a weight on here. These are pint-sized containers. And so it says 1 pint, 473 milliliters, because we're on a volume. And when it melts, it's obviously not going to be full to the top because there was air in there.
Sure.
And air obviously doesn't weigh anything.
Sure.
It takes up space, but it doesn't weigh anything.
Makes sense.
So, and then after it comes out of the extruder, it goes to the freezer. But what's amazing with this machine, you put that in there, you want to guess how long it takes?
10 minutes.
Pretty good guess.
Is it?
Anywhere from
Yeah.
not, depending upon what flavors we put in, anywhere from 9 minutes to 12 minutes.
Okay.
And it's done.
That's awesome.
Vanilla freezes the fastest.
Yeah.
Chocolate and caramel, for some reason, it takes longer to freeze those two.
Okay.
If you have something that has cake or cookies in it, it doesn't take as long to freeze.
Okay.
If it, I've done some experimenting with alcohol ice cream, and I mean, literally, I pour the alcohol in there. I don't sell that because I don't have an alcohol license to sell it.
Sure.
But it freezes a lot quicker because of the freezing temperature for
Okay.
alcohol.
Interesting. That's
So
awesome.
that's how you get to a pint.
That's awesome. So you are 3 days from starting to make Flint Rock Road to starting to make to actually being able to sell it. I love that. That's awesome.
Yep, and we always try to keep ice cream base on hand so that if we do happen to run out, we can come back and throw it in the freezer. Some weekends are busier. Obviously, the holiday weekends,
Sure.
you sell more. So
Sure.
we always try to keep it on hand, or somebody will call and say, hey, can I get a gallon? So yes, you can get larger than a pint.
Okay.
And everybody goes, well, do you get a volume discount? I said, it takes me the same amount to make one as it does the other. But you're not using the container. I said, my containers cost me about a quarter.
Yeah.
Between the labeling and the lid and the container costs a quarter. What goes in it costs a lot more than a quarter.
Tell them to give them a quarter discount.
There you go. So you can order, but realize when you order a larger version, whether it be a quart, half gallon, or gallon, that flavor is made specifically for you. It's not sitting on a shelf for however long it's been setting. Because our product,
Which isn't very long.
our product we get to the customer immediately, so your ice cream is fresh.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the things that I was going to say too, is that it was interesting to walk in here, truthfully not knowing what I was going to walk into, that there's not a lot of freezers and stuff, which that's why, because it's ordered, made fresh, able to given to you in that quick of a time frame of.
And most of our freezers are on the trailers.
Right.
Yeah, we have 14 freezers.
Yeah, which is cool. So are you going to be? So I want to kind of shift a little bit to the storefront, talking a little bit about the future, right? When April 1, that's goal of being open. Projected, right? Is processing still going to be here, or are you going to be processing at the storefront, or what's your thoughts?
Both, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yes, because logistic-wise, the machines are really, really loud. There's a business that's next door to us. There's a party wall.
Gotcha.
And I don't want to disrupt her business and have the machines
And
running.
there's tenants that live up above.
Makes sense.
So we will have our storefront so you can come in and buy your pints. I think I'm going to have a few other things in there that we're going to possibly do.
Okay.
And then we will cook the base up there. And then once it gets down to temperature, we'll transport it back down here. Okay. So the processing part will still be here. And we have another machine that we're getting that will do 24 quarts.
That's awesome.
So I'm excited about that.
I'll bet you are. Okay. So right now we've talked about your single serves, your pints, your freeze-dried ice creams, and other things of that nature. Is there any other products that you kind of want to highlight a little bit? Obviously the flavors, it's literally, you guys, they were telling me a little bit about a German chocolate cake that they froze or put in this machine and turned into ice cream too, which is really just, when I say that they'll make anything, I think they're willing to try just about anything just to see if they can get it to work. So outside of what we have here on the table here looking at and what we've talked about, is there anything else as far as product-wise or anything else that you guys want to highlight within what you have here?
We do make ice cream pies, and we don't have a bunch of frosting on top of it. I know there's ice cream cakes, and then you have all that pretty colorful food dye on top of there. We do make the pies. For example, we've got Death by Chocolate ice cream pie, which is a chocolate cookie crust, chocolate ice cream, chocolate whipped cream, liquid chocolate, shaved chocolate, and mini Hershey's candy bars on the top of that. We've done cookies and cream. We can do gluten-free crust, and we've done gluten-free ice cream pies. I had a little boy that wanted a cherry cheesecake, but we haven't made cherry cheesecake, and he needed it to be gluten-free, so we did a gluten-free graham cracker crust, vanilla ice cream, cherry pie filling, and I guess whipped cream on top of the vanilla, then the cherry pie filling, and that was his birthday pie.
That's awesome.
And he loved it.
I'll bet. That sounds delicious. So, okay, well, that's amazing. So, before we kind of wrap up, I always like asking a couple questions. So, first off, I want to give you guys another chance, just kind of give your contact information, website, just if anybody watching this, like, I need to have one of these pints, right? Or I want them to try jalapeno ice cream, which is wild to me too. But so anyway, I wanted to give you guys another chance to give your contact information, how they get a hold of you, what they can do to get some ice cream, and what that is.
Sure. You can Google Flint Hills Pints. Our website is flinthillspints.com. Our phone number is 785-341-2895. And will answer and take your order and make arrangements. If you go to the website, select pick up in Alma, and then when the order comes in, I always immediately reach back out to the customer because there's contact information that's required to be put in, i.e. address and phone number. And when I see it's not a local phone number or a local address, I always like to reach back out to that person so that they know that, yes, we've received their order, we have it, how do I get the product to you? And a lot of times they want to pick it up at the farmer's market. And a lot of the students have learned if they order on the website, guess what? They can sleep in. They don't have to get down there early to get the flavors that we run out of because we don't have a lot of flavors. We may have 12 of one flavor.
6 of another.
And then you have the folks like this gentleman goes, my wife purchased one of these at the farmer's market of the smoked brown bear, and I loved it. But look at how small that was, he goes. I want to buy that size, and I want to buy all that you have. Then he goes, I had this ice cream that was really good, and it's the smoked brown bear. You need to get some. I said, sir, you just bought everything on the trailer. So the students have learned they can order ahead of time. We'll bag it up ahead of time. So that way, that's not coming out of our stock on the trailer. We will make extra, and that's already pulled. So the other people can maybe get the flavors they want.
That's awesome.
We also do weddings. Sorority houses have had us up at K-State.
Okay.
Frat houses.
Yeah.
Special events.
We've done 2 funerals too.
We've done funerals.
Well, I mean, needed there too, I guess, right?
Well, the one was really sad because we were scheduled to do their wedding and he was killed in an auto accident.
Oh.
So his mother knew how much he loved ice cream. So at the funeral, they had our ice cream at the funeral. And I just took ice cream to Wichita for another funeral. He was a 90-some-year-old gentleman, and his daughter's a vet, and she had our ice cream at K-State, and she wanted to have ice cream for her dad because he loved ice cream.
That's fun.
So we did Smoky Bear and Home Run for the white, or the purple, so purple and white.
That's good. Well, that's amazing. So you guys have now been officially in business since 2023, so working on 3 years now. One of the things I always like to ask people, because we get a lot of entrepreneurs on the channel and everything, so what has been one of the biggest, the biggest challenges and hurdles that you've had to overcome in order to start this?
Well, I've had a lot of good help. Stephanie Imthern with Waubonsee County Economic Development has helped. Mary Ann Reeder with Washburn Small Business Development has helped tremendously. Stephanie with Innovate 24 out of Manhattan has been a tremendous help. And without those people behind us to back us and tell us where we needed to be going, we wouldn't be where we are. I just wished I would have listened and thought a little bit bigger because I was scared. I didn't want to sink hundreds of thousands of dollars into a business on just something that I didn't know would take off, and it's taken off like wildfire. And it's only fitting that it's in April because April is burning for the farm rangelands, which signifies the old is gone and the new is coming back. So we've taken off like wildfire.
I love that. So one other thing before we kind of wrap everything up is what piece of advice would you give to somebody that's maybe thinking about starting a business or somebody getting into whatever that entrepreneurial space would that be? What piece of advice would you give to them?
Don't be afraid to ask for help. The people are there. They will help you. They will guide you. You just gotta be willing to do it. And if you don't take the chance, then you can't say you tried. You've got to roll the dice.
And also check into grant money and that kind of stuff because it's expensive.
No, I love that. So before I kind of wrap up, is there anything else you guys want to add to the video?
I would just say I talked to some guys that hunt and fish, and I told them, you know, you could have ice cream out in your hunting blind or when you're out hunting and fishing, you could just take freeze-dried ice cream and have it out in your blind. They said, that's a good idea.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I mean, anywhere at this point. I mean, it is. It's so.
Backpacking or whatever.
Yeah, I love this stuff. It's great. So, okay, well, amazing, you guys. I just want to say, first off, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate
Thank you
it.
for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. This is a lot of fun. I've made homemade ice cream, but I've never broken it down to a science like you guys have. So I love that. I love what you're doing here, and I love the difference of. I can't get around it. I can't get around the fact of the ingredients and everything else that we have here. And I thank you, Darren. And I love that you're doing it all natural, or all, you know, you're not putting in the preservatives and all that kind of stuff in there. So I think that's, for me and for anybody watching, I think that's one of the biggest things that I would harp on for what you guys have done here. So,
well, for the fruits and that, it's all natural. But when we start adding the candies
The
and the
preservatives is
cookies
what I
and that,
mentioned,
it's in the product already.
Right.
Because Oreo, it's a major food player.
Hershey.
So at that point, I'm at their mercy.
Sure.
But it's a smaller amount of what you're getting.
You're not getting the antifreeze.
Right.
No, you're not getting the edible antifreeze. Not my product.
Yeah. So, but I love that. I love that that's what you guys are doing. I love that's what it is here. So, so anyway, thank you guys so much for watching to this point. I really do appreciate it. I hope that you have picked up a little bit of information from this one. And please reach out to them. They're wonderful people, number one. Number two, their product is delicious. I probably, if you've gone to a K-State or gone to any games or anything that way, you've probably seen their product. So I would definitely tell you to reach out to them, talk to them, see what it is. And I'm gonna throw something out there that I'm gonna challenge you to give them a challenge on what they can put in ice cream and what they can't, because I want to hear about it, right? I want to know what you can do and what you can't do. I think
How
that's
about grape nuts?
grape nuts.
That's
grape nut ice cream too.
Yeah,
So,
brown bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working on it.
I love that. I love that it's just like, you know what? Let's try it. So, no, so I if you're watching this, I would share this video with somebody on this one or anything that's fairly close. And again, we're here in Alma, and I think that's just a really neat opportunity to really kind of be in, like you said, farm to table really is what we're...
Farm to freezer.
Farm to freezer, sorry, is the way to go on that one. So I love that. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you haven't done so already and you do enjoy this content, go and hit that subscribe button, go and hit that little bell so you get notified. And please, please, please share this video with somebody who's interested in Flint Hills Pints and interested in what that process looks like and what these guys are doing here in Alma. And as always, if you guys have any questions or anything, reach out to these guys, because I promise you will be met with kindness and you will be met with some really darn good ice cream. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I put you on there too. Put it in the comments what kind of ice cream you'd like to see them make, and I'll see if we can get them to do it. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you later. Thank you too. I appreciate it.
Thank you.